Hey, what's up, Annuity Giants? It's Tracy Lounsbury here. Happy Monday. I am in the office a little early this morning so I can get this video uploaded to you guys because of a couple things. First one is thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you who donated towards the fundraiser for my sister and her husband and family. They're absolutely blown away by the support they're getting from people who don't know them and a group of insurance and financial professionals. We have this stigma in our industry, unfortunately, that, people who sell insurance are crooks. And I think that this is opening their eyes, showing them that, no, there are a lot of awesome, giving people who care for them. Thank you for those of you who didn't donate but prayed or shared it. It's just everything helps. They're doing a lot better than anything I would be doing. And I think it really is to do with the fact that they just feel this peace and calmness about where they're at. And also they're getting this awesome support. But I wanted to make this quick video because I wanted to thank you guys in a different way as well. So it's been a while since I've done a video where I really provided a ton of annuity value, just because I've been busy and there's a lot of content that we've done with our agents and whatnot. But I wanted to walk you guys through my process as far as setting an appointment and under what premise and how I do it, as well as actually sitting down with somebody, how I walk through that first appointment, and how I book my second one and third one. So right now we are still meeting with people from the seminar. We're meeting with a couple different referral leads, a couple different people from our lead vendors, and we're still getting a little bit of Medicare referrals here and there. So I'm still doing a couple Medicare appointments, but mainly it's our seminar. So I will definitely be uploading a video from my seminar. I made a big giant mistake in the best seminar presentation I did. I accidentally deleted it because I'm silly. So I'm going to have to take some clips from my other ones and put them in a little montage. I just have not had the time to do it, but I will upload that to my Annuity Giants YouTube channel, and you guys will get access to me in full force doing my annuity presentation. So basically, when I'm done with the presentation, towards the fourth and fifth seminar we did, what I did was we had a call to action and we had a form. And then that form, basically, it was a workshop evaluation form, but it basically said, hey, if you're interested in any of these topics, put your information on there. And then I called them. There are definitely better ways you can do it. You can, book appointments right then and there. That's not really my style, but the guy I was with, Brian Cannon, who's in this group, shout out to Brian. He's a certified financial planner. He had some great suggestions that I made some edits. He suggested, having iPads set up with Calendly links, and people could go and sign themselves up. That's a great idea. It's less invasive. Even going to each table and with the iPad, or having somebody else do it so it doesn't feel as invasive. It's not my style. Maybe at some point it will be, but right now it's not. I like a really laid back style. And then, hey, if I provided value, come to me. I don't feel like I really like to go out and just, tackle people. So once the seminar is done, I give them a call. So I had my assistant calling people after I had called them. I wanted to be the first one to call them. And basically I called under the premise of, hey, thank you for coming. I really appreciated you coming. And I know that a lot of people had some great feedback for us. So I just wanted to get your feedback as far as what your experience was. And then also, because you filled out this form, I wanted to get you put in the calendar for a strategy session. So then I put down any feedback they had. And then I said, okay, well, hey, I got some times available this day and this day. Is there a specific day of the week that works best for you? We normally meet at these times. And I gave them a morning, an early afternoon, a late afternoon, and then an evening if they needed it, if they were still working. And that worked really well. So I utilized the term strategy session. Thank you to Ryan Wheelis for that. So we were calling it a consultation. We really like strategy session better. It just feels more professional, I guess. Consultation, I think what Ryan said was that it's more for a doctor, like a proctologist. So anyways, so I thought that was interesting. So we utilized strategy session. We booked it on a strategy session. What does that mean? Well, I'm sitting with a bunch of paperwork around me right now. Let's see if I can find one. So we fill out one of these, okay? So this is our financial needs analysis, and then it has all of their information in it. And what we ask for is obviously all your regular info, name, spouse as well, age, date of birth, the date of the consultation, email, phone number. I ask them about what their health insurance is, if they have life insurance, what their Part B premium is, do they have long-term or short-term care. And then again, the assets, qualified versus non-qualified, annuities, any brokerage accounts, checking, savings, property, and then I get into income and expenses and debt. So Social Security, pensions, employment, investments, other. What are your expenses? What's your debt? So I'm really just trying to get a breakdown of their whole situation. And then in that strategy session, by the way, I also ask them to bring their statements in. So how I book it is I use Calendly. You can integrate it with your CRM as well. I think Eric Fierro CRM is pretty awesome. I've yet to really utilize it the way that I should because we're kind of transitioning to it. But I just use Calendly, and in my Calendly, I make sure that there's send out text message reminders and email reminders, make sure that they have the address down. And I'm always having people come to my office. I have an office. If you don't, that's fine. You can go meet with them. And then I do a risk questionnaire. And in my risk questionnaire, it's more like a statement-aire. All I'm doing is I'm asking them to rank these statements from like least important to most important through a 1 through 5, or like if you strongly disagree with the statement or if you strongly agree with it. So the first question is reducing risk in my portfolio. Do you agree with that? Do you want that? Or is it not as important to you? Leaving assets to my spouse, heirs, or charity. I would like guaranteed lifetime income. I am not comfortable losing more than 5%. Next question is 10%, then 20, then 30, okay? I will risk my assets for higher returns, and then that's gonna gauge more like where on the scale I'm willing to risk a little bit, a medium amount, or a lot. And then let's see. So I got this one from Chad Owen. So how much of your assets are you willing to risk? All of them, some of them, or none of them? Or how much are your assets are you willing to lose? Pretty simple. Everyone's going to say none of them, right? And then if they say some, then it's how much. Get a percentage. When do you want to shut the valve off, right? So it's kind of reiterating the question I already asked. And then I have some open-ended questions. So what are your overall goals for your assets? What would you want to change in your current plan if you could change anything? Have you completed any estate planning, wills, or trusts? And then this is a big one. Rank the following from most important to least important. Safety, growth, liquidity. And I say them in that order. Safety, growth, liquidity. Rank them from most important to least important. What type of legacy would you like to leave? Okay, and then I have a notes section at the bottom. Okay, that's my fact finder. Once my fact finder is completed, in a nutshell, I'm just trying to gauge where everybody is at. So I build rapport a little bit before I get into my fact finder, and then I'm just talking with them as much as I can about what their situation looks like. What kind of goals do they have in retirement? Do you want to travel? Do you have any kids? That might be a question to ask. Do you have any heirs? Do you want to leave anything there, which we have on there? So you're just trying to really dig into deeply what they really want to do with their money, right? And then also you're trying to get an idea of income to assets, that ratio. So once that first meeting is completed, I'm booking the second appointment right then and there. I let them know exactly what I'm going to do. Hey, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take this, I'm going to put it in front of my team, which, if I need to, I'll use Brian. He's, like I said, he's securities licensed. I will utilize, an attorney, trust, or CPA if need be. Not always, but if I need to, if I think that they would really benefit, depending on like what they're trying to do. But really, so I'm booking that appointment right then and there. I'm showing them that I'm going to come back with an analysis. Okay, that analysis that I run, what I do is I basically take. Do I have any done? Perfect. Whoa. Okay, so in a nutshell, I am taking and I'm putting a nice binder together, and it's got our logo on it, and it's nice kind of padded binder. I think it's a 2.5 inch, something like that, 1.5 inch. And I'm putting some information on our company on the front, and I'm just taking clear shield things, whatever, clear paper shields. Little information on our company. I made this myself. The graph I stole from a carrier, and then branded it. Don't tell them that. And then let me just cover their names here. So, and then this software, normally my logo is at the top. I guess I screwed up with these guys. This software is called Quanti, K-W-A-N-T-I. Quanti is basically a software that allows you to do a back-tested portfolio analysis, okay? So all I'm doing is I'm putting their positions in here. So this is a bunch of, this one was a big one. So these guys had 150 positions. Actually, I think I posted about these people. So this is all the positions. It prints out, okay? And it just shows you exactly where you are at. So with these people, I did a couple things. So I said, okay, here's where you're at. And what the software does is it breaks down what type of position you have. So large cap stock, mid cap, small cap, investment grade bonds, high yield, inflation protected bonds, US bonds, and then any alternative investments. Some things you have to kind of manually put in there, and you have to really get familiar with software. I'm not going to dive into it. And then it also breaks down the sector of what you're invested in. So like basic materials, consumer cycle, financial services, real estate, communications, technology, energy, industrial, consumer defense, healthcare, utility. It breaks all that stuff down too. And then it breaks down the style of investments you're in. So like growth and large, or blend and mid, or value and small. And then it's, I don't know if you guys have seen this square. See that square there? That's your style of investment or the stock that you have. And then it breaks down. You can pick multiple things here. You don't have to get this in depth with these people I did. It breaks down how much income and dividends your portfolio generates. So in this case, these people only had a 0.82% dividend. So that means that when they retire, they start drawing income out, which these people are going to need more than 0.82% of their portfolio, then they are going to have to sell something to do that, right? So then I break down the expenses with the funds that they're in. That's a big one, okay? Show expenses. And then I break down risk, and that's a big one as well. How much are you currently risking to get those returns, okay? That's a huge one. How much are you risking? And what it does is it stress tests the portfolio, and it says, hey, based on these funds you're in, which we were only able to historically back test 93 positions out of this 150, but it was like 98% of the weight of their portfolio, which means there's a ton of ones that you weren't able to back test and didn't really weight much. And then it took the subprime crisis, so 2008, the debt ceiling crisis 2011, and then the coronavirus crisis, and then even on here I have year to date as well. And then what we're able to do is show them how much they would lose in that graph. So that's the most powerful tool that I use is, hey, here's your risk versus reward, and then how do I compare that? So all I'm doing in the software is I'm doing two analysis, where they're at right now and what it looks like if I put an annuity in. Now the software can't just calculate an annuity based on how I would do certain annuities. So I created my own funds, annuity alternative funds in there using analysis that I've done on them. Not their illustrations, but actual kind of a conservative analysis. I think it illustrates at like 6.14%. I'm not showing an illustrated 10% or 12 or 11 or even over 8. I'm not going to do that. Annuities will not do that over a 10, 20-year period. So my illustration is showing like 6.14%, okay? And it's a pure growth annuity. We're using it as a buffer. So what we're showing people is, hey, here's your portfolio. If you were to replace things like bonds or really underperforming stock in your portfolio, and I don't tell them to do that, I'm just saying if, or really high fee funds that they're in, just replace those. And what we try to do is we try to get to a third or a half of somebody's portfolio and then throw it into an annuity. These guys is actually, it's about 30%, a little less than a third. And then what would it look like from a performance standpoint if we back tested it and then we repeated it? So we look at historical performance and then historical downturns. What would your portfolio look like if you compared the two? So in this portfolio specifically, their portfolio over the past 15 years wins 10.1% average. With the annuity, 9.3% average. But their risk goes from 08 losing 54% down to 37%. So are you willing to risk that much of a loss difference for an extra 1% average in your portfolio, less than 1%? Okay. And that's, by the way, not taking money out. So then how we show them if you take money out, what it looks like, that's where we get into the spreadsheet stuff. And this is super overwhelming if you just look at it. Okay. But we break it down to make it super simple. In a nutshell, what we're showing them is, hey, here's your actual portfolio. If you were to withdraw 5% out of it, from 2002 to 2022, you didn't run out of money, but you only had about $4 million left in the portfolio, okay? And you started with 2.6 million. Use a buffer, meaning a percentage into an annuity. You got about, let's see, 3, 4, you got about 4.2 million left, okay? 4.2 million left. That's powerful stuff. And then, let's see, and then this portfolio is backtesting 2000 to 2022. You actually ran out of money in 2020. And that's just because 2000, 2001 were downturns, drawing 5% out, and then so was 2002. It's just, it's so exponential in the portfolio. It's unreal. So with that being said, what we're trying to show them is kind of best case and worst case. Best case here is they average 11.38% in their portfolio, and the annuity still gives them more money at the end. Worst case, the average 9.38% ran out of money in the annuity. You never ran out of money. You'd have 828,000 plus 286,000 in the annuity. They would have had over $1 million left in worst case scenario, and then in no annuity, they ran out of money 3 years earlier. Okay, that's a super powerful thing to show somebody. And all we're showing is that when you take money out of your portfolio, don't take it out when you have negative years or years that didn't perform that well. Take it out of the annuity. Here's why. When you take it out of the annuity, you don't have to worry about taking out of a negative, you're almost paying a penalty on it. If my portfolio dips 20%, right? A super simple concept. If I dip 20%, that's that sequence of returns we've talked about. If I dip 20%, guess what? I am taking a 20% hit on my money when I take it out. It's almost like a penalty. It's like the biggest surrender charge you could look at. So instead, take it out of your annuity, use a big 10% for your withdrawal or a roll-up withdrawal, whatever, so that when you have down years or not well-performing years, your portfolio can kind of bounce back. Take it out of the annuity, okay? Now, this doesn't work. You can't take all of it out of the annuity. If you start the annuity and then you have a really nasty year and they need more than 10% of whatever you put into the annuity, but it still helps. I don't care if it's 5% of the annuity or 10% or whatever, anything you can take out during that time when there's a negative year, and you can just make up the difference if it's not enough in their actual portfolio, it's going to help. The numbers make out to where it helps. So I put that in front of the client. I show that to them. I show them, here's my solution. I think you need an annuity in your portfolio. If they already have one, I'm showing them how can we replace those if they're bad ones. I rarely see good ones. I see a lot of bad Allianz annuities, unfortunately. If it's a good one, I tell them, hey, that's a good one. You might want to look into maybe a little bit more. If I don't think there's an annuity that they should have in their portfolio, because I think I've yet to see one, but if their portfolio is just awesome, and it's been doing well, the risk to reward's great, which would be like a beta or a Sharpe ratio or an alpha. Financial advisors, you know what I'm talking about. By the way, I am not securities licensed. I just know a lot about this stuff. And I get a lot of feedback from Brian. So if their portfolio looks really good, then I'm just going to tell them, hey, take your advisor out to lunch. I have yet to see that. Okay? I've yet to see one portfolio where a bit of an annuity didn't make sense. Yet. Okay, now, what if they only got like 10 grand? Okay, then maybe not. If they got like 50 grand or more, I'm going to do it. I've done annuities for people that have like 20 grand, okay? But they weren't very big annuities. They were 5 grand or something like that, right? So, and that's where you're going to have to look at annuities with certain minimums on them. So, with all that being said, then we book an appointment for the third meeting. So I want you to if I can write it right then and there, I will. But I want you to take this back. I want you to take a look at it. And when they come back in, then the third appointment, I'm going to explain the actual annuity to them and how the annuity really works from the standpoint of all the benefits and features. Right now, we're using a lot of Midland for that buffer strategy. We still use some Silac. We might be writing an Athene here soon. Different case for that one. So that's pretty much my process. And then when they come in, I don't have to sell them anything. I've already showed them the numbers and the data. It kind of just sells itself. And then I'm like, okay, well, here's the process. And I did tell them about how how you can roll money into the annuity. Okay. But I also tell them that if their financial advisor is doing a shit job, that they should probably look into another one. I refer them over to Brian or somebody else that we might work with. So that's my process. It is an analytical process. It's not a salesy process. Some people are better salesmen. I'm a better analyst. So I use that as my pitch and my niche. You need to find what you're good at. Your pitch and your niche are two very crucial things in the annuity space. Find what you're good at and hone in on that. If you don't know what you're good at, then you just got to try everything. Try everything. Whatever sticks. Whatever doesn't. And just make sure you're getting mentored by the right people. Okay? So I think that helps. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. God bless all of you. Again, thank you for everyone who donated. I hope this made you feel better, because I know it made them feel better, and it made me feel great too. It kind of restores my faith in humanity sometimes. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys. Have a fantastic week, and always try to be better every single day. Peace out.